All right, I'm excited to welcome Kristilynn Turney to this introduction video. Kristilynn is one of our mentors at LinkedLeaders, and I'm so excited to have met her and to learn more about her and see her work from a distance. And she brings a wealth of experience and expertise to the table, and I want to give her an opportunity to introduce herself and share a little bit about her background.
Thank you so much, Mike. I am Dr. Kristilynn Turney, and I am very excited to be a part of this wonderful group. I have worked in education for 25 years, 20 of which were in public education. Started off as an English teacher, moved into school improvement, moved into literacy work, as well as an assistant principal, middle school principal, high school principal, and district office. And then in 2019, I was already dabbling in some consultant work on the side. I said, hey, let's give this a try. And I became a full time consultant. I gave myself a year. And I said, I'm going to give myself until April 2020 to decide if this is the right fit for me. And in obviously, we know what happened in March 2020. So I had a lot of questions at that time. Will this consulting world work for me? And then in May 2020, there was a huge shift in the world, and that was when George Floyd was killed in the public eyes of America. And I was already doing DEI work in addition to leadership coaching and mentoring and school improvement. And so this just took my DEI work into really a whole nother pathway in which I began supporting schools by doing equity audits, diversity plans, curriculum reviews, as well as supporting leaders and teachers on their cultural competence journey. Since then, I've continued to work in school transformation and school improvement, supporting schools that may or may not have been identified needing targeted interventions, as well as schools that are just saying, hey, we know that we can be doing better. So we need to look at those options. And then, of course, in supporting leaders, it has been a wonderful ride and journey. I am out of Cincinnati, Ohio. However, I have worked nationally and even internationally in the Cayman Islands.
Fantastic. Thank you for that background. Some
Thank
things
you.
I just learned. So that's great stuff. Um, so we're connected through Linked Leaders. You are one of our mentors and coaches that is available to work with any of our school leaders that are seeking support. It might help them to get a feel of how you approach mentorship or coaching. So can you share an example of when you have provided mentorship or coaching to someone and give a little bit of the context and how you approached it?
Absolutely. So I've provided mentorship and coaching in a variety of ways, some of which have been pre-assigned where the district feels or that individual feels as if, hey, I need some leadership support to better myself, to make some positive changes in my school or district, or maybe even keep my job. So those have been some of those situations. And then I've also had individuals who have reached out to me that said, hey, I just want to grow. I just want to learn. I just want to be better. So my approach is always very similar in the sense that I work with where the leader is in that moment. What work, what guidance do they need in that moment? And so we have done book studies and reviews. We have also really relied on some of my personal experiences. I've talked about being a middle school principal as well as a high school principal. But in those, I was the first Black principal. And so pulling on that background and experience to support really people of all walks of life, because whether it is the first or in some regards, breaking barriers or shifting, that is an important piece as well. So, pulling on my experiences, connecting to their experiences, as well as connecting to what the research says. And then all of that is under this umbrella of what are our goals? What are we trying to get from this opportunity and this time together? And setting in those key performance indicators really throughout to say, we've worked to this step. and here's where we are. Which direction do you want to go? You want to continue to go straight, or now is it time to pivot, shift, or modify based off of the goals and the work that we've done together?
Awesome. Yeah, and I'm sure your wealth of experience in all those different levels of leadership absolutely play a part in that.
Yes,
As well as just
definitely.
your ability to kind of draw out from them their needs and their goals.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
So based on your experiences and expertise, if you were working with a school leader today, what type of question or problem would you be just super excited about helping them with? In other words, what type of problem do you feel is your sweet spot for supporting other school leaders?
Yes. So, Mike, honestly, you talked about my wealth of background and experiences as a middle school principal, high school principal, working in district office with a focus around curriculum and intervention, as well as human resources and diversity. So, I have all of these pockets, right? So, there are multiple sweet spots. I think my guiding question would be, what do you need? What is your challenge? What challenge are you facing as a leader? And what is that? What does overcoming look like to you? What is that barrier? One of the things that I talk a lot about is breaking barriers. And so, again, for me, one of those breaking barrier moments was being the first Black principal of two buildings, but also being one of the few staff members of color in a changing demographic. That was a breaking barrier moment in that regard. However, I have been in situations where we were working to improve the school academically based off of the state mandates. So again, that was that barrier. So what is your one barrier that you want to break, and what are some of the challenges that have presented before you as to why you couldn't break that barrier before now? And what do you foresee are some opportunities, and what can we collaboratively do to break that barrier?
Love it. And there's a lot out there to break through and depending on your context and situation. And so to have a guide like you to kind of help them walk with them instead of them walking alone is a huge asset to them. So thank you, Kristilynn. This
Absolutely.
has been great to get to know you more and to share you with the rest of the world and through LinkedLeader. So thanks a lot.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.